day and a very warm welcome to the Rainbow Cruise Show. I'm Fatima Allie. Remember when you were little and your parents used to read you those bedtime stories? Of course you do. Now, just imagine that you and your siblings were the main characters in that bedtime story. Hold that thought. Today on our show, we speak to Zaid Salih, co-author of We Love to Play Pray. This illustrated children's book was co-authored with his wife Noura Taib, and wait for it, it was inspired by their three beautiful children, Yusuf, Suhaib and Mariam. Now how cool is that? Just imagine the story they have to tell their grandchildren one day. This just gives me goosebumps. Let's speak to Zaid Salih. He's a son, he's a husband, a father, and also co-author of We Love to Play Pray. Assalamu alaikum Zaid, good day and welcome to the Rainbow Cruise Show.
Wa alaikum salam Fatima, and good day to you.
Thank you. We Love to Play Pray, co-authored by Noura Taib and Zaid Salih. I hold in my hand your first published book. There's just something about the written word that just touches one's soul. Every story has a story. I want to know about this story, We Love to Play Pray. When did it all start? Maybe we can start with once upon a time.
My oldest child is 8 years old. His name is Yusuf, and then I've got a 4-year-old Suhaib and a 3-year-old Mariam. And really, I'd be remiss to say if I don't say that they were the inspiration behind us really getting off our behinds and penning, something that we always wanted to do, but we never had the bravery and the courage to do that. I found myself in the corporate world for 20 years, and it was by the end of August 2015 that I decided to throw in the towel and embark on this new journey.
Wonderful. You're speaking about your children. You are also a child. And I know that your late father, Sheikh Abdul Rahim Salih, he was a scholar in our community. He was well loved and he was also an author of many books. Do you feel that you have inherited that from him?
I don't think that's something that you can inherit, in the sense that it's something that you need to work on. This is not the inheritance. There's a saying that you don't inherit from the prophets. It's something that you earn. And so, in terms of knowledge, it's something that you have to seek, and it's always been something that's been close to my heart. Seeking knowledge, conceptualizing, understanding, and anything that's thought-provoking has always been something that's been close to me. And it's something that I envision through our work to nurture children, to learn organically, and not in a linear narrative. Oftentimes our education is very linear oriented, yes, where it's from point A to point B. And what we're looking at doing through our work is to approach it very differently, in a harmonious and organic way, where children can thrive through an environment that's created for flourishing.
I hear what you say, Zaid. You and your wife Noura, you have decided to homeschool your children, and with children being in an environment that they are comfortable with, an environment where mommy and daddy is present, they are able to do whatever they are able to experience within boundaries, of course, and this is where the book started. What message do you have for parents who are thinking about homeschooling their children?
I think oftentimes we make the mistake that we think that when we're sending our children out to school, that we hand over our responsibility, yes, for the education. Yes. And we put that in the hands of a teacher, in the hands of a madrasa teacher. And I think that is an incorrect point of departure. We as parents, we should take the responsibility solely as our own. It's one of the biggest gifts and legacies that we impart to our children is knowledge and good character. But we can't have good character if they don't have knowledge and the understanding of why good character is important in life. I would say good character is more important than knowledge. And there's a saying that take from his character before you take from his knowledge,
I have in my hand We Love to Play Pray by Noura Taib and Zaid Salih. This is a publication by Red Kufi Books under the banner of Little Kufi. Where does Red Kufi Books come from?
Fatima, it's basically a continuation of the work by my late father. His work was branded under Daddy's Books, which we started as his kids in the late the early 2000, in early 2000. And what we wanted to do at the time, my father not being a businessman, being a theologian, we felt the need that we needed to get his books and market it out there. We then started Daddy's Books. But since his demise in 2013, I decided to take it, the initiative to take it further, to expand on his legacy, to grant others access to his work, and then also to start our own journey, which we have done with the little Kufi brand. So basically, Red Kufi, the way we got to brand Daddy's Books, or rebrand Daddy's Books as Red Kufi, was in Cape Town. You know, there's a culture of the Red Kufi, and it was something that Cape Town was very proud of.
Yes.
There's urban legend that, you know, if the magistrate wanted somebody to give testimony, they would go out and look for anybody wearing a red fez, because it was known that those people were truthful.
Yes.
And so, you know, there's this rich history in Cape Town with regards to the Red Kufi. My dad, my late father, he also loved his Red Kufi. He never went anywhere without it. And when we were speaking about, you know, rebranding, I can remember our brand manager asking us, you know, what was it that your dad loved? And, you know, the Red Kufi came to mind. And at that time, we didn't know what it would mean to us today.
Yes.
And as well, the Red Kufi, the word Kufi, there's an Arabic script that's called the Kufic script, and him being a writer, it all just came together.
That's a wonderful, wonderful synergy. The website, redkufi.com. When I log on, what can I expect?
It's something very different. What we wanted to do is when we approached the entire project, when we looked at redkufi.com. We didn't want a website that was going to be something like you'd see out there when you go to Islamic literature. It's very dull, unfortunately. And our experience, we experience things better in a creative manner. I think we are all creative by nature, but by the age of 10, somehow our parents or educators had taken all that creativity out of us.
Yes.
And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to create an experience for our consumers and for our customers. When they come onto our website, it's an experience for them. It's not just going and buying a book.
Yes.
So we wanted them to engage with our content. We want them to become part of our narrative. We want them to become part of our story and the love of the word. You know, I mean, we've published our first book, but what's more important to me than publishing a book or the books that we currently have within our stables are the fact that, you know, we've become somewhat apathetic towards reading. You often hear people say that, you know, I don't love to read, I don't like reading, and that is a very negative thing to say. We are where we are today because of a book, whether that be the Bible, which Christendom was founded on, which Western culture was founded on. And then we've got the Quran, we've got so many other books that civilization rests upon. And so we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for a book. And so we need to understand that, you know, the love of reading is something that is intrinsic within us. And somehow it's just not nurtured. The same thing like the seed put into the ground. If you don't water it, it doesn't grow into the tree. And so we've got all this within us. And we just need to create that environment for our kids for them to experience it. There's a beautiful saying in Latin. In fact, we use the word every single day, educate. But it's rooted in Latin, the word is educare, which means to lead out that which is within.
Yes.
And so how do we do that as parents and educators, Fatima? What we need to do is create the environment that is nutrient rich for our children to organically become who they were meant to be. And that is what we try to instill, what we're trying to teach the younger generation of today, because you and I, we're not the future. Our children are the future. And so that's where our investment's supposed to be.
Yes.
Oftentimes I'm really astounded. I ask the mosque boards, what have you set aside for the youth? What's your budget for the youth? And there's no budget.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely, it's unheard of.
Yes.
And so we need to think anew. And in order to think anew, we will be able to start anew.
Yes. What strikes me about your website is be well read. And that is also what came out at the launch of We Love to Play. What is your fondest memory of the launch that took place?
It was the people's, I think the people didn't expect to see the quality of the product that was on view.
Yes.
And it being a children's book, I don't think that illustration before with regard to children's Islamic books locally done has been done on the scale. It's not to blow our own horn, but what we needed to do is we needed to show people that, you know, there is the bar is higher.
Yes.
And so that they could themselves reach out and dream. And so we wanted to put out a product that was of quality and of substance. And we engaged with the people that we felt were good enough to bring that to the fore. And we were fortunate enough to meet Saeed Rabini, who's an amazing person. Amazing person. I have to say that before the illustrator. You know, he's a wonderful illustrator. He can do amazing things. But he's just such a wonderful person. And we were fortunate to have him on board. And he really, he climbed into the story. The story became part of his hand. And it was able to naturally, sketch from there. And that is something that comes through in his heart. You know, that his heart was in his hand when he sketched.
Wonderful. I'm looking at the pictures and I'm seeing your son Yusuf, your son Suhaib, and your daughter Mariam. When they saw the pictures for the first time, what were they thinking?
They were so excited.
Oh,
they couldn't believe that they were in a book. You know, what we try to do is, the story is about them, because that's where we got the inspiration from. They used to go about into their room and they would transform their room into a masjid, and they'll take all the musallas, all the prayer mats, and they'll take it into the room and create, you know, the experience for them. And Yusuf would be the leader, he would be the imam. And that's really where we picked up on the story. And so when they saw their play coming to life in a book, they were absolutely overjoyed. And this past week, my 8-year-old Yusuf, he rebranded the week Red Kufi Week.
Wonderful.
And he said, "Dad, we're going to be famous." And yeah, you know, it wasn't because he was thinking about the grander scheme of things, about, you know, the money or that. That's got nothing to do with it. What he actually meant was that they were in a book and people were going to see it. And how often can kids today say that, you know, I'm in a book? So yeah, they were so excited about it.
This book needs to be in every home. Where are people able to purchase this in Cape Town? And also, if I live in Johannesburg or if I live in New Zealand, am I able to order it online?
Yeah, you are. At the moment, we're not open to the international borders just yet. That will be within 2 or 3 months' time, inshallah, or even sooner. We're in the process of seeing to that. But nationally, you're able to get it online for delivery anywhere in the country. And in Cape Town, you're able to get it at all the Islamic bookstores within the Cape Town area.
One last word about We Love to Play by Noura Taib and Zaid Saleh.
Buy a copy. Your kids will love it. It's something that's different. You learn about Salah in a very different way, about praying in a very different way, through the natural phenomena, which is the sun and shadows, and how your shadows grows into giants. And if your shadow grows into a giant, it's almost time for the middle prayer. And so it's engaging kids to become more interested in the sun, in the shadows, and that's those things which are natural to us, to our survival. And they can just take it from there, that learning is not something that has to be mundane. It can be creative.
Indeed it is. Children are such vicarious learners, and We Love to Play by Noura Taib and Zaid Saleh is a must in every home. For more information, you are able to log on to www.redkufi.com, www.redkufi.com. I'm Fatima Allie, reminding you to stay fabulous.